All right, what is up? Welcome to the monthly recap for October 2022. And we are finishing at the end of the month small green. Small green up $581, well below my monthly goals. But I did have a couple of red days, quite a bit of red days for the month of October, which, October was a very, very challenging month for a lot of traders. It was, the beginning of the month, it was hot. We had some really good movers. FNGR, ATXI, KITT. We had some really good movers in the beginning of the month. So I think a lot of traders thought that the market was going to be heating up. And around day 4, day 5 into October, around maybe October 8th, 9th, 10th, the market momentum dropped off a cliff. And traders were completely caught off guard. At least I was. And that caused me to take my biggest loss ever of my career in one single trade. I went from nicely green on the day. I was up $350, $360, and in one trade lost $900, my largest losing trade in my career, $900 from plus 300 to finishing down 500 or 600 on the day. So that was a huge swing, and that was a very, very challenging day. But I was able to regroup, and because I had that big green day, I had a really big green day the first day of October, my biggest green day ever, $750 around. That really cushioned the blow of that big red day. But because momentum dropped off, my confidence got a little bit shaken up, and we can take a look at the calendar. My confidence got a little bit shaken up on that day in October, and that really, biggest green day here, red day here, big red day here, my biggest losing trade on this day, small green, decently green, and then another pretty big red day on Friday. So this was a very emotional week. And this week alone, I broke so many records. My biggest green day ever, my biggest winning trade ever, my biggest losing trade ever, and the largest drawdown of my career, all in this one week. So lots of records broken, very, up and down week. So my emotions were triggered, but I think I did the right thing. Instead of grappling with my emotions in the market, trying to, battle this weak momentum, which we started to get, I just sized down and just focused on base hits just to get consistently green. And this whole week was green here. And then the next week, again, the momentum wasn't very good. And, well, at least I remember. And this was also the week I was taking 2 days off. So I did size down as well. And this ended up being a small red week as well. I mean, had 3 red days in this week, took 1 day off, and then 1 green day. Then here again, I was with family on Friday, and then the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I was able, my goal, when I'm away from my main trading setup, my main trading station, I just focus on trading just, from pre-market, and then at 10:30 I'm out. I'm done. I don't care if there's anything moving. I'm done, because if I'm out doing stuff, if I'm, away from my desk and out traveling, hanging out with a friend, visiting a friend, or visiting family, I want to be able to use as much time as possible to hang out with them. So I don't want to be sitting here on the computers all day. So my idea, when I'm away from my main desk, especially when I'm away from my main desk, I'm not going to have all my monitors. I'm pretty much strictly limited to my computer. I don't even have my external mouse or my external keyboard. I'm just limited to my laptop and a small USB monitor. So I'm pretty much limited as far as like computer real estate, like screen real estate. So, that's another reason to just focus on just getting green and when I'm away and then just enjoying the rest of the day with my friends and my family. And so that's what I did here these 3 days. Just got green and walked away. And then I returned back and was able to stay consistently green here on these 2 days. But this day here, we did have, this was EPIX. And then this day we had, what was it? QNGY. Yeah, so QNGY made a pretty decent move. I was up 200 on this day. I probably could have got even more if I was more aggressive and more patient with letting the move unfold. But I was way too scalpy, and QNGY just did not, wasn't a good stock to be like scalping. You needed to be able to at least hold for like the full minute or 2 minutes or so for the move to unfold, or else you'd be taking 1 cent profit or 2 cent profit, and then you get back in and take a small loss. Instead, that winner could be a 10-cent profit or 15-cent profit on a $2 stock, and then your losers would still only be 1 or 2 cent or 3 cent loss. So there's definitely more upside than I could have had if I just held a little longer. But let's go through back to the statistics. I want to look here at my win-loss ratio, and look at my win-loss ratio and my accuracy. So my accuracy was 58%, so 7% lower than my target. My target is 65%, so well below that area. My average position cost, 2,282. That's probably a little bit more inflated because I've been trading SPY a little bit. So, SPY is very expensive, and I'm trading maybe 20,000, 30,000 position size on SPY. So yeah, that's probably a little bit inflated, and it's a little bit lower because I do like to scalp on lower share size pre-market, and like my bigger positions, when I edge into a big position, that's only maybe 1 or 2 trades out of the 10 trades I take during the day, because the A+ setups haven't been as often in October, so that also can lower my average position cost, because sometimes I get a scalp just on my starter size, 250 shares, or my starter size of 500 shares. So that may only be like an $800 position size or a $1,000 position size. So that can really lower my average position cost. So I don't go by this entirely. I like to go by just my A+ setups. What is my average position size on my A+ setups? Because that's what really matters. Because on those A+ setups, you can potentially make 8 to 10%. And if I'm taking that $10,000 position size and that's my target, a 10% winner, $10,000 position size is $1,000, which is my goal by December 31st. My goal is to have my first $1,000 day. So 60 days, 2 months left, about 60 days left to achieve that goal. I think it's completely possible. Just it's up to the momentum, and it's up to me to be ready for it. And also we have here the average win, average loss. I have a negative risk-reward ratio this month, probably because that big loser, 10% loss here, $900. So this was right around that $10,000 position size. I thought it was an A+ setup, and I'm actually going to go through this trade that I took that loss on. But yeah, if this would have been a 10% winner, could have been a $900 win. This could have been, and I was already up 300 on the day. This could have been a $1,200. That could have been a $1,200 green day. So the potential was there if it worked in my favor. It just didn't. So negative risk-reward ratio and a lower accuracy this month produced only a 10% profit margin. So very low profit margin, but I was still able to get 581 on the day. So let's go through the green trade, my biggest green trade of the month, which is FNGR. So FNGR here is a little bit extended, so waiting for the pullback. So it made a huge move here. I was not trading it on the way up. I was pretty much break even at this point. Pretty much break even. And I remember this catching me off guard again. So it flashes down, and I'm like, okay, this thing went from 620 to 547. This is a fire sale right here. It just flashed down. I think buyers are going to buy this up. It's above the 90 EMA. It's above the VWAP. I get in 4,000. I don't hesitate. I'm doing 1,500 share increments, 4,500 shares. Wow. So I'm in at this point well over $20,000 position size. I pretty much maxed out my account here on this trade. So we get like a weaker pop there. I was maybe only to get five cents or so, but then it dips back down and I'd bump it up to 2,000 shares. But I didn't add to the position. I just took my profits, my 20-cent profits, which was great. It was a $400 winner. But if I would have added to that and got that extra 10 or 20 cents with 4,000 shares, man, like that would have been insane. That would have been completely insane. So here we're doing some extra, a little bit of scalping here in this area. Not really making much more. Maybe an extra 100 or 200 bucks here and there, but that was my biggest ever green trade. I think it was really, really good. That first dip after a fresh run here and that fresh front side, flashing down. So buyers just scooping that right up for a quick pop, a quick bounce on the 1 minute. So that was that. Next, I want to show the losing trade, which is, what date was that again? Here on, I guess I can look here. That was on the 5th, so that was on KITT. KITT, some people did well on this. I, on the other hand, did not. So I remember exactly where it is. It is completely ingrained in my psyche. I know exactly where this trade was. Right here. I was, after that big FNGR win, I was through the roof. I'm confident right now. Like, wow, look at this insane red to green move. This is what I was like. Insane red to green move. It's halting up. I'm ready to buy this resumption, and I'm going hard. So I get in 1,000 shares here, taking, adding more as it's going up. I take a nice $300 winner right there, 1,500 shares. So that's roughly a $10,000 position size on a $6.20 stock. Now here I'm ready for that first dip. 500 shares, okay, another 500 shares, another 12 cents on 500 shares. That's another 70 bucks in my pocket, 65, 70 bucks in my pocket. Let's wait for this next dip. 612. Are we going to hold 612? And I get out for about break even, waiting for a good dip here. Waiting for a good dip, the next dip, waiting for it. I'm patient right now. I'm patient. I'm thinking a dip right here at 590. We have this area here is resistance that was now support. This area of resistance now support. 590 is the next dip. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm in at 615 a little earlier. Wow, why am I at 615? Taking off small gains. So what's going to happen here? I'm up 382 on the day. 382. Look at that. 382 on the day. I'm killing it. I'm at 400 on KITT. This is going to be a massive green day. I'm like, this is it. This is going to be the 1K day. KITT is going to rip. So I'm anticipating the bounce here. I'm anticipating the $6 bounce off 590. I'm thinking it's going to rip up, back up. 1,500 shares. Luckily, only 1,500 shares. But it just the bottom falls through and this candle drops a whole $1 a share all the way back down the VWAP. I'm just cutting it as it's going down, and I still get some stuck in the halt, and this is ugly. I'm there. Now I'm down 337, and this is not the end of it. I lose another $300. I'm still trying to get out. I only get filled half of my position. I'm still in 655 shares on the way down $1 a share, and we unhalt. This sucks, man. This sucks. It even resumes lower after a whole dollar dump. Like, what? And I'm all out at 539, something like that. And I'm down 400, 500 on the day. Right now, this is emotional trading here. Like, my immediate reaction is, I gotta make this back. I gotta make this back. Oh my God, I just went from plus 380 bucks on the day to now I'm down 500 and $535 on the day. 500 down 535. I was just up 380. What is going on? So I'm like, oh, this is some support here. Let's get in this. It's gotta bounce. And this, I'm sure every trader is probably saying this right here at this point who got caught in that flush. I do end up making some back, but I ended up making some back and then I give even more back. So I finished down 6 something. So that was that day. Not a very fun day. So a very emotional day for sure. But to say the least, October was definitely a growth period. Desensitizing myself to bigger green days, bigger red days, which are inevitably to come as I'm sizing up. I'm just waiting for me to get back in the groove. I'm going to get back in the groove, see some more momentum, and I'm going to go for it again. And keep pushing against that ceiling until I break through, and that is my new baseline of share size and gains. So here I'm already on like a nice green streak here. I'm up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green days. So that's a good sign. It's a good sign. Consistency is the most important. It doesn't matter how much you're making. So let's say all of these, let's say every day here in October has been red, but I had one green day to offset all of those red days. There's still no guarantee of consistency. Statistically, that may just be an anomaly. But if you had most of these as green days and only a few red days, statistically, your consistency is there, and all you need to do is just size up. So, I'd rather be more consistent than having only few green days, than a few green days, because, it verifies my consistency, and by seeing my consistency, I'm already in a good green streak. I can start sizing into these winners more because I can trust that, I've been consistent. So, all I need to do to make more money is just increase my share size. So that's something to sort of fall back on, and that's something you'll get through, being in the market for a long time. So after like 6 months of trading, a year of trading, if you're new, once you start getting consistently green at the end of every month, maybe for 2 or 3 months in a row, then you're like, oh wow, now I'm starting to get consistent. So, maybe I only made $100 in October and $100 in September. Hey, well, at least I'm green. Maybe I'm trading 50 shares, 100 shares, which is cool. Now in November, you're like, okay, now I can trust, my strategy works. I've been consistent. I'm green at the end of these months. If I want to now make $500 at the end of November, all I got to do is bump my share size from 50 or 100 shares to 250 shares. And then you start trading 250 shares and see how that November ends for you. And then, if you're green at the end of November, then start sizing up then again for December. Do 500 shares for December. You're green, and then increase it to 1,000 shares for January. or 750 shares if 1,000 is too much. So it's just sort of taking it slow. I never really found for me was what didn't work for me was just jumping from 0 to 100. I like to slowly, increase, because it just, I don't get that feeling of, panic or shock if I'm increasing slowly. If I go from making, a $10 a day to now $500 a day, that's gonna like shock my system and probably give me way overconfidence, and then it's just gonna get ugly. Or on the flip side, if I go from losing $10 a share, $10 to on the day to losing $500 on the day, that's also gonna produce shock, and I'm gonna be like, holy crap! Like, I gotta jump in the next thing that's moving so I can make this back, because I can't live with this $500 loss. So I don't like to shock the system like that. I like to kind of increase the temperature slowly, and just find that it works better to manage those losses, because they're going to happen when you're sizing up, and you're going to be out of your comfort zone. It's just that they're easier to manage if you're increasing slowly, because you can always drop back down a little bit to what you were doing before, and then you can make back that loss more like faster. Instead, if you were to jump to a $500 loss when you're only used to making $10 on the day, if you drop back, you're going to be able to you're going to have to drop back all the way back to your $10 a day to feel comfortable, and then that $10 a day is going to take forever to make back that $500 that you lost. So that's why I like to increase it slowly, because then you can instead drop back from $500 to maybe a position size to make maybe 200 to 300 a day, and then you can make back that loss in 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 green days. So that's sort of my psychology there, and my reasoning. But that's the end of my October recap, finishing small green. It's all good though. It's all good. We are going to keep moving forward, pushing now into November, and focusing on staying green, staying disciplined, not over trading, monitoring my emotions of overconfidence and fear and self-doubt, monitoring those and trying to stay centered and walking on that fine tightrope of profitability. So that is it. If you guys are still watching, please hit the thumbs up button. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel. There will also be links down below. Check them out for the Discord room. You can get access to the free Discord, public Discord room, the Triad Trading Lounge. There's also a Patreon where you can check out. There's also a link to the Calendly. The Calendly I'm offering right now is, the promo I'm offering right now is free 30-minute coaching call with you, focused completely on you for 30 minutes. We can go over anything that you want, completely free, and that's up until my first 1,000 subs. Once I cross 1,000 subs, that promo will no longer be valid. I just want to gift all of those early subscribers early on in my career for supporting this channel. And then I know that after I get 1,000 subs, it's going to be a lot harder to manage. A free 30-minute call is just going to be probably way too many people. So at 1,000 subs, I'm ending that promo. So all of the early subs are going to get a free gift from me. I've already had a couple of calls that went really well. They got a lot of value out of the 30-minute call. So definitely check that out as well. I also have other links as well to Trade Journal. Sign up for Trade Journal. Free resource for you, free journaling resource. Trade Review then as well, which is a paid resource that offers pretty much the same thing as Trade Journal, but just a slightly different interface. So that is it for the monthly recap. I'm going to wrap it up, and I'll see you guys for the next video. All right, peace.